Traits that every man has to learn and master if they want to live a good life. I'm going to get real raw and vulnerable in this video. And I want to make sure that you guys really, really pay close attention and take notes because, again, I'm 40 plus now. And a lot of this stuff I've learned over the years. And some of it is very, very dear to my heart. And I'm realizing now how important some of these things are. Okay. The first one is this. As a man, you're really going to have to learn to deal with disappointment. Because even if you do everything perfect in your life, you're going to be disappointed, but other people are going to disappoint you, right? I've been in real estate as an example, if we're just going to talk the most recent years of my life, for 12, 13 years now, right? In that time, I built my business, worked with a lot of clients. I built up a local team in California where I started. I built a team here in Florida. I've run and still run a nationwide team. I've worked and coached thousands of salespeople and real estate agents at this point. So I've dealt with a lot of people. And let me tell you, the amount of times that other people have disappointed me with their actions, not actualizing their potential or anything at all that would disappoint you, I've lost count. Now, what happened before was I would take it personal and I would let it get to me. I would let it literally hurt my heart. Almost to the point where I would be in tears sometimes thinking, man, like I've been over backwards for this person and they turned their back, or, I gave them everything and they quit. I could think of a close friend of mine who I just literally, I did the Zelle, right? I sent him $6,000. Hey, I know you want to move out of California. Come stay with me. He lived with me for a couple months. Long story short, I gave him all the opportunity here in Florida. This is back in like 2022. I was still pretty fresh here, right? I was here less than a year and he came out. I said, yeah, bro, I got my own place. Come, you don't have to pay. I'm about to open up my second office out here in Florida. Things are on the up and up, right? You can open up your business there if you want. Again, long story short, he didn't do anything and then he ended up leaving. Now, he said he would pay me back. And even though I sent the money, I never expected it. So I'm not like holding that over his head. We're still okay as friends because that was a rule that I've always told people. Whenever you're going to lend money, before you lend it, be okay not getting it back. That way you don't ruin the friendship if they don't pay you back, right? Unless you don't care and you want to lose it. But man, so disappointed with that situation. I was like, dude, you had everything. I didn't make you pay for anything. Like, you had literally an opportunity handed to you on a silver platter that I never had. And again, I have stories similar to that, different circumstances that I could do probably a 2-hour lecture or video just giving you stories and stories and stories and stories, right? But what I've learned now through maturity and older age and experience is I have to detach from those things and I can't set my expectations or any of that on it because then I get caught up in it. So I can give the opportunity. I can make a presentation to somebody. I can offer them something. If they take it, great. If they don't take advantage of it, then it is what it is. That's their life. That's their choice. I can't let it affect my mind and my heart because then that's the stuff that starts weighing on you. You hold grudges. It starts messing with you emotionally. And I've had moments of this. Then it just puts you down in the dumps. And nobody needs to live that way. Nobody needs to live that way. But the worst part about it is we have to take responsibility, like I had to, and say, you know what? This is a self-inflicted wound because I'm allowing that disappointment to mess with me and rattle me to my core. And you cannot have that happen. So learning to deal with disappointment. Same thing with your own disappointments. Maybe you fell short on something. Maybe you didn't hit the goal. Maybe you wanted to go left and you went right? Stuff happens, even that's outside of your control, especially that will disappoint you. It's okay. Take it on the chin and move forward. Because even, again, the last 2 years for me have been kind of a roller coaster. We're building momentum. I get a win, a loss, another win, right? Like it's kind of crazy as I'm rebuilding right now, everything. But I take it in stride and I do my best to laugh every day and have a good time and not allow, whether a personal or outside disappointment, to again, break me. We cannot allow that to happen. Okay? That's the first one. That trait that needs to be developed by a man is being able to deal with disappointment. Hey, dude. All right. So that's number one. Number two, let's continue this thing. Number two is, and this may happen for long periods of time or short periods of time. You need to learn to be okay being alone. This is something that a lot of men, people in general, but men struggle with. You are okay alone. You technically don't need Anybody. You can provide for yourself. You can be an entrepreneur, get a job, pay to put a roof over your head and the basic essentials. Pay for your insurance, roof over your head, food on the table. That's all you really need. That's why I laugh whenever I see the meme where they show how simple men are. It'll show like an apartment, a bed, like a computer or a TV, and that's it, and like a meal. And it's so true, because I've been on the side of having tons and tons of money and the big house and multiple cars and all that. And now I'm a lot more minimalist. As soon as I moved to Florida, I went more minimalist. I sold all my cars. I bought more real estate. Like, I kept it real minimalist. And I can tell you, this is the way to go. This is the way to go for more satisfaction and more happiness. Like, absolutely, I would 100% put a stamp on it, right? Not that we can't enjoy the other things. I just believe that this is more the way to go. So up until recently, right, I always had people around me, been in most recently a really long, romantic relationship. So this last, year and a half or so, I've been more alone per se, even though I still have a lot of friends and people around me. But a lot of my time spent at home, or maybe even on the weekends now, is more me. And I never really had that before, because I always had people around. But I'm enjoying it, right? I'm making productive uses of my time, and I've learned a lot about myself. And again, I've used it as a way to grow, because in my mind, if I can thrive and be cool and happy and all smiles and good alone, well, when I'm in a group, it's going to be easier. But if I'm miserable alone and I can't stand being with myself and appreciating myself, how could I enjoy the world? That's what allows you to also grow. That way, when you go out there and you socialize with the world, you're presenting something that's appealing to people, which is awesome. But all it is you being okay with you, because that's what it comes down to. But you got to be okay being alone. I'm telling you. It's not that we're going to be alone forever, unless that's your choice. Then you'd be one of those outliers that wants to be by themselves forever. Cool. That's totally up to you. But for most people, they're going to crave, relationships and friendships and a lot of that social stimulation and that kind of stuff, which again, I recommend you do. And that's going to be one of the other points in this video, because it is very important, at least to have the capacity and the skill set, right? But you got to learn to be okay alone with nobody watching. Are you still going to follow your routines? Are you not going to, perpetuate bad behavior and fall into addictions and, socially isolate yourself and turn it into something bad? Are you going to be productive with your habits, your morning routines, your evening routines, right? If you work a 9 to 5, or maybe you're an entrepreneur, right? Especially if you work from home now and you're spending more of your time in the house instead of an office, what are you doing with that time? And that time spent alone, is it being mostly productive? Or are you in your head going negative and daydreaming in a bad way, or just scrolling on your phone? Because I have my phone on Do Not Disturb 24/7, 365. And even the moments that I catch myself scrolling a little bit, I'll stop it within a minute or two, because it's just a waste of time. But learning to be okay alone is the best. Now, if you want to take that to another level, learn to thrive when you're alone. Because then everything that you do in an extension of it is the highest and best version of you. And then it'll be easier for you to attract the right people in your life, whether it's friends or relationships. This is why everywhere I know that I go, right? Like, I think of the Saturday calisthenics class that I do with my teacher, right? And then some other stuff that I do that are group activities. I'm always meeting new people in those environments, but I see that a lot of people are very attracted to me, not like necessarily sexually, but attracted to me because of the way that I speak, that I carry myself, the types of conversations that we have. I like to, be funny and do jokes, and being around me, I know, is pleasant for people. So they want that more. However, again, especially recently, most of the time that I've been spending has been by myself, or, with my team and the people that I work with. So mastering that will give you such an edge, because right now, so many people are suffering because that solitude is destroying them. They do have the potential, though, and the power to be able to flip that and turn that into a superpower. But that's going to be up to them. And I'm not going to discuss all the details of that in this video, but if you'd be interested in maybe how to navigate being alone, I can do a video on that. Just drop me a comment. And if I get, more than a handful of comments and maybe more than like 10 or 20 likes, I'll do a video on that. You let me know. That's number 2. Number 3 is, especially as a man, it's really important that you develop a robust skill set when it comes to communication. You have so many opportunities afforded to you as a man if you know how to communicate. God, if you can communicate, you can get women. You can create social media platforms like I did, build a brand, attract people, be a leader. You'll always have a job and a position in this economy because communication is a vital, and increasingly more expensive skill set to have and rewarding. Then if you get into sales, which has no ceiling, you will thrive if you're a great communicator. I mean, look at my channels. Right? This channel is about to be monetized. I'm growing and getting a lot of momentum. My videos are simple like this. I'm not doing jump cuts and fancy setups and all that, right? Like, it's obviously the way that I communicate. It can't be anything else. It'll give you more confidence. Your internal dialogue will become a lot more empowering and productive. Your presence will change. Your outlook on life will change. You'll be a lot happier. Because look, believe me, guys, I get it. Especially some of you who really look up to me. I have a lot right now that I could bitch and complain about. Believe me. But I refuse to. I have my moments of negativity like anybody else. I'm not perfect. But the overwhelming amount of the time I'm smiling and I'm in a good mood and I'm thinking optimistically. That changed because I developed my communication. Before that, I was in the same cycle as everybody else, doubting myself, negativity, drama, gossip, and all that nonsense. Developing your communication, which people think is talking, it's way more than that, will help you in that area. You won't have to worry about motivation or not being in the mood and all that stuff. All that stuff will be gone because of your development of communication, because it's internal and external. That's the beauty of it. And when you embark on that journey, it's tough and you have to face and destroy a lot of your inner insecurities and inner demons. At the end of the day, though, it's worth it, because then what emerges from that, what rises from that tide, is a more evolved and better and more capable version of you, being able to express oneself the way that you want to do it, being able to connect with people and extract everything that you really want out of life and not hold back. Isn't that what you want? I thought so. Next is, although I'm not going to recommend that you become some player or Casanova, you need to build a baseline proficiency with the opposite sex. Meaning, you don't have to sleep with a bunch of them or do any of that stuff, but you need to be comfortable and be able to engage and be in the vicinity of and acquire women for friendship, relationships at whatever level that you want. You have to be able to do that. Like, I'm at a point now, maybe it's because I'm older, right? And I've had enough fun and done all the dumb shit. I'm very selective about the women that I bring into my life, even for casual purposes like hooking up and all that. Because I understand and value so much more conversation, energy, mindset. And I don't want to spend my time with somebody who doesn't have a similar mindset or wants to grow and progress like me. That stuff is way more important to me now. However, I have the proficiency there, whether I'm alone or I choose to go meet a girl or talk to her in the gym or whatever. And all the women I'm meeting, 99%, are at the gym, the park, at an event. Like, I meet them out at the store. I've met women before. You got to be able to develop that, because a lot of men internally do not realize that if you know up here that, man, I can't get a girl, I can't be around women, they're not comfortable around me, they don't like me, it will mess with you. Are there outliers of men who really just don't give a fuck and they won't care? Sure, but that's a small percentage. The vast majority of you are gonna, again, have a problem there. And I'll be clear here. I'm not advocating for any type of behavior or debauchery. I'm saying have the capacity to and have the ability to acquire their friendship, attention, relationship, or whatever. Have the ability to do it. Then where you take it from there is up to you. But that is a wound in a lot of men. Not that you need it or, right? But having the capacity, saying, hey, I have a choice or an option. If I want a woman, I can actually get one. Because there's a difference between saying that and actually being able to do it. Let's make that clear. You have that choice now and capacity, you move differently as a man. You're a lot more calm around women. Conversations around them change. You do have the ability to have options. You'll definitely have standards. Women won't step all over you. They'll respect you. And a lot of these things that men struggle with will be handled pretty much automatically because of the way that you're going to act and the way that you're going to behave and the way that you're going to be around them. Because a lot of how they act is a subconscious response to who they're dealing with, meaning the person. They'll do things if they think they can get away with it, if they have the inclination, I can get away with it with this guy, right? That goes a lot beyond logic. But if they respect you or they see you as a strong man, they'll treat you differently, right? But that's what you want, because then the dynamic is going to be correct. That dynamic is flipping right now, which is why we're seeing so many problems in men to female and female to male relations, right? Hopefully we heal and we get back to the core root of how our dynamic is supposed to be. But until then, it's going to be a little crazy, okay? Let's continue. Number 5 is going to be able to define and live based on your blueprint and what you truly want, versus being 100% influenced externally. Otherwise, you're always going to be on the next trend. You're going to do what everyone's doing on social media, and you will be reactionary and a puppet. And you can't afford to do that as a man. You need to live by your code that you determine and live life on your terms. Even if the whole world, like, oh, you need to go out and do this. No, I don't want to drink, smoke. I don't want to do any of that shit. I've always been that way. I don't care what people think, but I'm going to walk my own path. I'm not going to go clubbing Fridays and Saturday nights, even though I'm in Miami. I've done it every once in a while as a celebration or because I was invited, but I don't do that to be cool or, oh, I need to be seen out on the scene. I don't care about any of that. And I don't care what people's opinions are. I'm building my life and doing the activities that I want to do every single day, building my career, building my team, building my platforms, living life how I want to live. Every man needs to be able to do that with a smile on their face and feeling proud about it, because that's the problem. We allow outside or social influences to mess with us. So if you go back to my previous point and you really cleanse that social circle and you get the right people around you, or in my case, like I did, I just built my own communities. I become really good friends with a lot of my students and the people on my team and coaching members and all that, because we're all cut from the same cloth. We enjoy the same things. We're out there having conversations that are relevant to our futures and discussing ideas, and we support each other, and it's overwhelmingly positive and inspirational. Who doesn't want that? Now, if you don't want that, that's fine. But that's what I wanted. So whether friendships or me creating my communities and my groups and relationships that way, that's what I did. And I bring people into that ecosystem. We live by our own code. We don't care. We don't need outside approval for anything. Whether that's how I want to run my relationships, friendships, how I want to live my life, run my business, my political views, my religious views or non-religious views, I don't care. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'll take counsel from other people, seek advice and get help, maybe listen to an opinion here and there, but I'm still going to make the choice and live how I want to live regardless, and be bold enough and willing to walk that path. Will you as a man? Because if you don't, life is going to be tough, my friend. You have to be willing to do that and bear the responsibility that comes with it, because you will receive backlash, but that's what men do. We're the ones that walk, face first into the fire, front line into the battlefield. That's our role here on the planet. That's what we do. We take charge. An attack comes, the man is in the front holding his hand out, defending the shield, right? And with his child and his wife or his girl behind him and his family. That's what we do. But by living your life, that's an act similar to that, on that same wavelength. I'm going to do what I want to do as a man. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to pursue. And that's what I'm going to dedicate myself to, period. That's all that matters. And that's all that's needed. I sincerely hope that this video helped you out. You can point out whichever one of your points are clear to you, but these are the subjects that I really enjoy discussing and masterminding on, because, when I look at the people that work with me, these types of subjects and this material, personal development, philosophy, whatever you want to call it, it's an integral part of everything that I teach and coaching and in my business, because it's needed and it's essential. Because when you build the person up and you develop them, everything gets better. They perform better. They're better in their personal lives. Their career improves. And this is the type of stuff that needs to be discussed more openly and honestly and taught to people. Because this is what makes champions, and this is what helps people truly make permanent change, not temporary change, permanent change, which is what we need more of. All right? Take a moment to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment for the algorithm, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you get that notification every time I upload a video. And we'll see you on the next one. All right? Peace.